Okay, guys, picking up where I just left off on the Stephanie Mills video. Obviously, it got cut off. I don't make choppy, unprofessional type videos like that, even impromptu. I'm a perfectionist, so yeah, I didn't mean to cut off abruptly. And the one that prior to that posted as well also cut off, but the way it cut off was kind of cool. Not on this one, but the prior one, so I let it go. I let it slide, but I'm not letting this one slide. Anyway, getting back to Stephanie Mills, and the point of this, Stephanie Mills, which I have posted on underneath the other video, is an American singer and songwriter. She rose to stardom as Dorothy in the original 7-time Tony Award-winning Broadway run of the musical The Wiz. So we've got the number 7 connection in Michael Jackson. We've got the Wiz connection. And from the musical The Wiz from 1974 to 79, the song Home from the show later became a number 1 U.S. R&B hit and her signature song. So it looks like not only do we have a heads up about Michael Jackson, of course, and their relationship they had as friends. We've got The Wiz, which they both did. Michael was the Scarecrow in his version of The Wiz with Diana Ross. And then we've got the song Home, indicating he's on his way home, guys. And we've got the number 7, of course, which I have showed a million times. And in that secondary title, as I did in the first video, that was the most obvious thing. But, you know, if you keep on looking and peeling back the layers, you can see where everything is connected. So I'm pretty sure that this was probably a setup, because timing is everything. And if it wasn't a setup, then whew, God is doing some amazing things. The universe is doing some amazing things. The planets are in alignment. I'm in sync because I keep on seeing 1111 and 111 and 222, 333, 555, 1010. So yeah, something's going on. All the numbers are coming together. And speaking of numbers, the number 7, as I told you before, was relevant. TMZ made a point early in the death hoax to draw our attention to the number 7. Michael's first name and last name, 7 letters in both, you know. And of course, we had the Staples Center Memorial. What date was that? July 7th. The will was supposedly written 7 years prior to these Staples Center Memorial. I can't talk anymore. Oh my God, looking through my curtain, there's a full moon too. Looks like it's waxing, but it's a special moon right now. I forget what it's called, but okay, anyway, yeah, strange and stranger things, right? And so the connections go on, and as I said before, I am probably going to be making impromptu videos in between what I'm doing, because when you least expect it, that's when something happens. And even my cat waking me up the way she did and was so bizarre, it's just like, yeah. Accident? I think not. I think she's in sync too. I have a black cat. Go figure, right? Black cats are very attentive. They seem to be almost intuitive. It's crazy. I mean, witches used to call them familiars because they really are familiar with you and your habits, but they're also great caretakers, and black cats have excellent manners. I mean, like when I had 4 cats before at the other house, they weren't all mine, but we had one black cat, and she would wait till the other 3 would finish eating, and then she would go and get hers, because they would all dive in at the same time, trying to knock each other over to get to the food. And the other black cat, her name was Baby, she would just sit there and watch until everybody had dispersed, and then she would go and get hers. And if there was hardly anything left, she'd wait for you to get some more to add so she could finish. So yeah, definitely something happening there. Very interesting, right? So signs, synchronicities, and then talk about timely. We've got the Brooke Shields story coming up now also. It's like all these people from his past are coming back in a very timely fashion. And we know that Brooke Shields participated at the Staples Center Memorial. She was one of the few known friends to actually appear, because Diana Ross wasn't around, Macaulay Culkin wasn't around. None of those people. There were definitely known to be in association with him. Liz Taylor wasn't around. I mean, she was alive still then, but of course we're finding out now there was some shady stuff going on there. Apparently, according to another person that does these videos, said that their relationship was fake, that anything that she did for or with Michael, he had to pay her for. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? And I thought he thought so highly of her, and I'm like, damn, talk about illusions. That's really messed up. If you gotta pay somebody to spend time with you, I would have told them where to go. I don't care how famous you are or how good it looks. And I'm like, why does this guy have to hang out with all these women who are famous, and then none of them seem to want to claim him in a relationship, but they all want to hang out with him? And I'm guessing they're clout chasing too, even as celebrities. It's like everybody's name dropping, hanging out with, trying to be seen with, trying to make money from, and everything else. It's a damn shame. Pardon my French, but isn't it though? Just makes you want to, I don't know, I gotta exhale, because it's like, it's just overwhelming. So, as I've said before, you be kind. You never know what somebody's going through or what they're putting up with. But when you're in the business of show business, you are under the microscope. People are always watching. And I'm not just talking about fans, managers, associates, producers, people who might want to cast you. They might be monitoring your behavior to see if you're easy to work with, or if you're somebody's got a diva attitude. And then, of course, who you're seen with, the who's who of the what can either boost your fame and your likability, or it can go the opposite direction. So it's a really strange business, right? Anyway, you're not here for that, but I thought I would talk about it because everything is relevant to one degree or another. Let's see. In review, we've also got my TikTok. I've got a new TikTok. I just couldn't figure out what the old login is. That's the bad thing about these social medias and websites. You got to have a login for everything. And if you don't write it down, and my problem is not so much memory as it is I've got so many things going, and they're all different. How the heck am I supposed to remember what email, what password, what, when, where, and what? I'm like, gee, I got enough to remember, right? And this is supposed to be for security purposes. And if people weren't so freaking twisted these days, we wouldn't have to have so much security. But anymore, you got to practically nail things down to keep them in your possession. There's just so much going on in the world right now. It's just overwhelming. No wonder people are having breakdowns and crying spells and suicide attempts and scared to go out. And oh my God, what's not happening right now, right? Anyway, my new TikTok, and it doesn't even have the title I want. I have Steamy Hot Latin 5. That is not what I wanted. But when I went back to change it, you can't change it until after, 2 months or 1 month, 30 days, 60 days. I can't even remember that because each term on every site is a little bit different, right? So there again, more stuff to remember that I don't need to remember. I got enough to do. This is too much. Even if I have nothing to do, having to do all this social media is a lot. It really is. Anyway, some of the best videos that I either did posted on my site, or, either my original makings or thereof or whatever, then you can catch them on TikTok now. And I think the ones that I picked to post here, which right now I only have 15, but at least 14, well, no, not 14. I'd say 13 out of the 15 are most relevant to the hoax and or Michael Jackson. So we've got stuff like the Dave on LKL, which is probably one of the best visual clues that we have that he was still alive. I mean, we had a lot of weird things going on, like, I think probably the thing that tipped me off initially was when somebody had stopped LaToya in the street, and it was taking so long to either hear about a funeral, have a funeral, And I don't care if you the king of Siam. I mean, it doesn't take 2 months to have a funeral or get somebody ready or whatever. And they were talking about moving their brain to analyze it, which was a bunch of BS. Of like, how you gonna analyze some dead flesh? Okay, what you gonna get some neurons firing while it's dead? Come on, man. And then Latoya, they caught her in the street. They're like, "What's up?" And she's like, "Oh, we're getting him ready, and we've put a wig on him, and he looks like he's about to go on stage." And mind you, it was almost 2 months in. I don't care if they got you on ice in a freezer or whatever, you're not going to look good. After 2 months being dead, the body starts to decay and break down. Rigor mortis setting in from the moment of death, okay? And I don't know if a body's been preserved with propofol or whatever is going in there, you're still not going to look good. But here's the thing. Now, we see a memorial at the Staples Center, right? That was early, July 7th. And then we got the thing that happens later, at the cemetery, Forest Lawn. Now, what did those two things have in common? And I'm not just talking about gold coffins. By the way, those two were different. There was two, but they were both different. If you look at the handles, they were both shut, weren't they? So why would somebody spend time getting somebody looking just so, wig and everything, looking like they're about to go on stage, if they're literally not going to go on stage? In other words, it's a closed coffin. Ding, 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 ding. Something ain't clean in the wash. Something is real fishy there. And nobody questioned that? Seriously? Okay. Then you got things like the Xperia Z2 Michael Jackson commercial. Remember when Slave to the Rhythm and everything? They had the commercial, and Michael is underwater as a blonde woman. All right, see this? He's underwater as a blonde woman. If you freeze this video, you can see his face.
The Sony Xperia Z2 smartphone is uniquely designed to be waterproof, so you can use it.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there because YouTube is on everything, and they'll have a copyright claim, and then they'll want to shut down the video. But if you go on my TikTok and you watch the Xperia Z2, the Jackson commercial, that is Michael underwater in a glittery suit that's just like on the Escape album cover with the Milky Way and the glittery colors representing the stars and the Milky Way and everything. And then remember the controversy over the blonde woman at the Staples Center? The blonde woman, of course, was Michael sitting in the audience in drag, listening to his daughter Paris go on stage for the first time, talking about how much she loved her daddy and fake crying, as she later spoke about being able to do on the Ellen Show, the fake cry. That's one of the things that her daddy taught her when she was learning to be an actress. And, of course, he was sitting next to Chris Tucker, known to be his best friend. And everybody's like, well, the blonde woman was this one and that one. And I'm like, yeah. So here is Michael in this commercial underwater with a blonde wig on. He could have had a black wig on. He could have had a red wig on. What did he have? He had blonde. And, of course, throughout the course of this, we've seen Chris Brown, blonde hair. Kanye West, blonde hair. Kim Kardashian, blonde hair. Justin Bieber went blonde in 2015. And when he came out with his big tour and big album, Purpose, yeah, there's a purpose of everything. And, of course, prior to that, what did he have? Believe. Then we had Orianthi. Well, she's naturally blonde, but her album cover title was Believe. So we also had the Believe theme. Everybody knows what the Believe is like, a code word. And, of course, the word love is a code word to listen, observe, view, and evaluate. So we know that as well. And that was very important because everything we've seen along the way, we need to be paying attention so we know what we're looking at. You don't have to know what you're looking for, but if you really pay attention, you know it's in association with him. And just listen. It's funny. I mean, maybe I kind of have clear audio, so some things kind of stick out that I hear maybe, and I see things maybe other people don't quite see until later after I go and point it out. But anyway, I think when you're really paying attention, there comes a point when your senses are heightened, especially if you have an idea, you're looking for things that are specific to or related to what you're looking at or for. Okay, so keep that in mind. And we've got some other things going on too. Let me go back. Let's see. Michael Jackson sings Neo. Now the song he was singing obviously was done by Neo.
Guys, Michael does it again.
After
on his Instagram,
death.
He has a video, which I'm sure all of you guys who knows this video, Blood on the Dance Floor, but overlapping it, the music track, instead of Blood on the Dance Floor, we've got a song by Neo, and Michael's actually singing it. Here we go again in 2020, so he is showing one of his videos, Blood on the Dance Floor, that's the visuals, with him singing over it, with tracks over it, in his own voice, doing a Neo song. I actually did suggest a song for him that I really like. I wanted to hear him try it, you know, but anyway, let's give this a listen, okay?
Now, if you know Neo's music or whatever, I mean, that song came out after 2009. So how could Michael Jackson be singing a song that came out after he allegedly died? What does that tell you? I guess he's not dead, right? All right, moving on. Moving on. And then we've had other characters that have come along the way. Now, the Halloween special, that was a big clue at the end where you had the dance scene. And they're playing Thriller, and as the boy and the girl, they were going throughout the Halloween thing, and they kept running into all these people along the way to try to find Michael. And at the end, during the Thriller dance, there's Michael. He shows up, and after he starts spinning around, he literally turns into all the characters they've seen along the way. But of course, he is the same person, but every spin that he did, he turned into somebody else. So the big clue in that was all the characters you've seen along the way. Dave, Surfer Goes from Ashes, Jack Crooner, and all of these people, were Michael, okay? Also Peter Medani. I mean, that's his alias that he used to check into hotels and whatnot. Currently using today. Also the meet and greet that's coming up, and they're planning that. You know, if it's going to happen, I don't know, because you've got these really hellacious fans who are trying to crucify everybody. They think it's doing something to Michael. Ain't nobody doing nothing to Michael except Michael, okay? Wake up and smell the coffee. All right? You know, there's no reason, as I always say, to be mean. Absolutely no reason. If you don't like what you're seeing or what's happening, go on and get your butt on somewhere and do something else. Bother somebody else, because you're being a bother. You're not helping Michael at all. And if you find out that the person you've been harassing is Michael, you're going to feel awfully stupid. And there's a lot of you out there that are going to feel awfully stupid because you're the ones that were doing it. And as I told you before, oh, too bad. God don't like ugly, but that's your problem, not mine. Just saying, okay? And let's see, of course, we also have Five Alive Dodo. What was interesting about that, there's two different things. Now, Five Alive is a juice that is produced by Coca-Cola. And as we have learned that Michael Jackson has stock in Coke, right? So, if Michael Jackson has stock in Coke and Coca-Cola produces Five Alive juice, then we've got this commercial comes along with this dodo bird that pops out of the sand on the beach, right? And it's moonwalking backwards. And Come Alive with Five Alive. And the bird, the music playing in the background is I'm alive, I'm feeling mighty free today, I'm alive. And then at the end it says Come Alive with Five Alive. Now the connection with that on Facebook back in the day when they were having the HLN trial with Conrad Murray, somebody was on the Five Alive page on Facebook, And it was supposed to be Michael, and he was giving clues before we actually saw them in the actual media. So he gave the date for the Conrad Murray trial, from what I understand, prior to us being given one publicly from the regular news media. So how in the world would anybody else know that but him, right? But we got that, so that was Five Alive thing. And as I told you before, there's usually two of everything. So you've got a Five Alive commercial, you've got Five Alive on the Facebook page. Put it all together. It's just pieces of a puzzle, one of many, and these onion layers that we keep pulling back. Okay, and then you have Slave to the Rhythm. That was a song that was done. Billboard Music Awards, remember that? They had a hologram of Michael Jackson. And it was the first time anything like that had ever been done at an award show or anything. Anything prior to that was Tupac, which was like a concert that was, where was it, Coachella or something else, but it had never been done on live TV before. And of course that was, some people thought it was really weird, some people were really excited about it, but it was part of one of the newly released songs that we had never heard before that he supposedly had recorded years ago. So you had the new song on the new album, and then you had the Billboard Music Awards with the first time of the hologram. So you had two things there. And of course there was some other things in the show that were tipping you off as well. And it always runs that way. Then we have Surfer Goes from Ashes. We had one, not just one, but two accounts from him. I think he said his first account was shut down. That may or may not have been true. But he ended up having a second account, right? Okay, and then we've got things from This Is It. And there was rumored that there was doubles in that. Some of the people in it were him. Some of them were not. They were doubles, you know. And there's a lot of things in that. It's like, is it Michael or isn't Michael? Is that him singing or isn't it him singing? So things like that. And I've had my own stuff. So yeah, go ahead and take a look at some of the videos and see what you think. Here I have Michael Jackson confesses that he was all the characters that we've seen before. So Michael Jackson confesses he was Dave, Jack, Pablo, and Peter. Alright. I was under Steamy Hotland Reloaded. Now my original channel, Steamy Hotland, and I had thousands of subscribers. I got taken down because you have to be very, very careful the footage that you use. There's something called fair use. However, that's a very fine line. So, you know, I was trying to, my thing is I want to show you what's really happening. I don't want to just talk about it. I want to show you the actual footage or what's going down, but I ended up getting my channel taken down. I re-uploaded Steamy Hotland Reloaded. It doesn't have as many subscribers. Some people just think I disappeared, which I did not. If you're friends with me on Facebook, or if you've seen my Twitter page, which I've also started a new Twitter page as well. I had 13,000 or more, 16,000 on the other one. It's still up, but again, with the login situation. So I just went ahead and started a new one. I can show you what that is. But yeah, anyway, there's a lot. There's a lot, and I think now is an excellent time to review. If you're new to my channel, then you've got a lot of catching up to do, but you better do it soon, because this hoax is about over. Believe it or not. And I know we've talked about that before. And early people, everything that he left us, all the clues and stuff, it was a lot to go through and a lot to decipher. Now, as far as the comeback date, he established that from the beginning, obviously, but he's only given us bits and pieces. And I mean, he may have a lot on his time on his hands as a dead man, but the rest of us who have things to do, lives to attend to, jobs to go to, families to maintain, houses to maintain, whatever is going on in our lives, we can't just sit around 24/7 trying to decipher and figure out clues. If we had that kind of time on our hands, we probably could have come to a conclusion a lot sooner, or at least the correct one. And then if he's only given a little bit of information here or there, we can only make assumptions half the time, unless we're dead on something that's so obvious. So that's been part of the difficulty along the way in determining when this thing is going down. But as far as alignment, numbers, synchronicities, all kinds of things, and then the celebrities have revved up again. And then we've got people legendary suddenly coming out of the woodwork with new projects, new clues, and they're all in association and connected to him heavily. Everything's leading to the same conclusion. So that is that, people. I don't think I've left anything out. I might have. I don't think I have, but you can't have it all, can't do it all. So be vigilant. If you're still into this hoax, as I said before, you can Google his name every day or just watch the general media, see if things pop up. Anybody you know in association with him, if they suddenly make headlines in the news, I would give it a little extra attention to see if you come out with something, because chances are pretty good you will, especially if somebody's taken on a new song, a new video, a new film, a new project, a sudden appearance on a show. Especially these people just pop out of nowhere that you haven't seen anything or heard anything in years. I mean, Stephanie Mills, as soon as I saw her name, I'm like, Stephanie Mills? I was shocked that she was on TV today. I'm like, what's up with that? And same thing with Brooke Shields. I mean, she was low-level lying. I haven't seen her do anything in a while, at least not that I knew of, and all of a sudden, bam, she's doing her life story almost like a biopic. Yeah, speaking of which, we are waiting to see what date that biopic is going to be. And according to the media, Your Majesty or whoever's supposed to be playing Michael Jackson, his nephew, so we still don't have a date, but we'll see. It better be soon, because I don't see them doing it after the fact. I see them doing it before the fact. So I figure if he's trying to have some kind of masquerade ball, get together, meet and greet by September, something's got to happen sooner than that, right? And then, of course, Janet, she's been touring and things like that, so keep an eye on her. Oh, yeah, Chris Brown. Let's talk about Chris Brown. His new video and song I posted about the Chris Brown factor. Go ahead and take a look at my video that I did a couple of days back on Chris Brown. But I did take a look at his video. Very interesting. On the back of his jacket is 1977. Now, two things happened in 1977. The Bee Gees, Staying Alive with John Travolta. All right, that movie, that song, Staying Alive. And then what else do we have in 1977? Of course, August 16th, the death of Elvis Presley, or should I say alleged, which of course a lot of this hoax is based on, because that's how we got tipped off initially, because Michael Jackson's death details down to the play-by-play, as discussed with Oprah and Lisa Marie Presley on October 12th, I believe, in, was it 2012 or something like that, October 2012, when they went on there, and Lisa Marie Presley was wearing purple, and Oprah was said right at the opening, how is it that you and your father's lives are parallel, their death down to the play-by-play? And turns out the house in Carrollwood and was right across the street from Elvis's place and everything. So there you go, with two of everything. We've got the Elvis factor, which he has always been rumored to be alive, and then we've got the Tupac factor, poetic justice with Janet. And of course, that was used in the memorial. I Never Thought You'd Leave in Summer, played by Stevie Wonder, and that was the cameo song of Janet that was used in Poetic Justice when she's eating the bowl of popcorn and thought that something had happened to Tupac, or who played, her love interest in the movie Poetic Justice. So that's it, guys. I am wrapping it up. I'm sure if I sat here a little bit longer, I would think of something else, but I'm done. I gotta rest, so that's that. But go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff I have posted and see what you think. And as I said, keep your eyes and ears open. We're getting down to the wire. Trust me, this time you can believe it. Now, unless something comes up and he chickens out, but even if he does, I'm done with it, okay? I'm going to do the big video I'm going to do, and that's going to be it. 'Cause I can't keep going down this road. I'm not going to be led down the path and down the rabbit hole just to go deeper and deeper without a conclusion. Now, for those of you who think he's not coming back, my question to you is, why the heck would he do all of this stuff, all of these clues, all of these celebrities giving clues for years and years and years, only for it to come to nothing? Does that even make sense to you? Yeah, there's a little thing called common sense. So if you have some, you know it's leading to something. It's leading to a comeback. And knowing how he likes to make history, that's what he plans on doing. And the biggest clue is his history video. And if you focus in on his jacket, what do you see? 777. All right, so there you have it. The stars are in alignment. And so am I. And with that, I bid you adieu. Good night, folks. Adios, amigos. Love you. Take care.